all these things I could do. I couldn't even save them. Hey, this is Trepacer. Since you're here and it's Saturday, why not continue my tradition? I have two movies here, and why not review them? Okay? Sit down, have a seat. Okay, the first movie that I'll be reviewing is The Adventures of Tintin. This is the 3D version. This is directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson. Okay, this is based on the books and comics by the cartoonist Hergé. Okay, and in this movie, like I said, well, first let me give you a little backstory. I never heard of Tintin before. I heard about it. The first time I actually heard about it was a great fellow YouTuber. Well, now he's Horace Walker, or Carl Perry. That's his real name. Now he's back on YouTube after being away for a while. His YouTube username now is Pog Long Perry. That's kind of like a pirate name, Pog Long Perry. Okay, he's a great fellow YouTuber, so check him out. He's back to making videos, and he's a very funny guy from the UK, so you should definitely check him out. Okay, anyway, The Adventures of Tintin stars, of course, intrepid reporter Tintin, his dog Snowy there. And basically, the movie starts out with Tintin in the market, where he actually buys a replica of a model ship called the Unicorn. Okay, for like £1 off, one of these sellers in the market, and he gets approached by a Mr. Saccharin, who offers to buy it from him. He seems very interested in it and really wants to buy it from him, but Tintin likes it and he refuses to sell it. And he goes home with Snowy, and while Snowy's chasing a cat, he winds up actually breaking off one of the masts from the ship, of course. And then Tintin goes to the library to read up about the history of the ship, the Unicorn. Okay, and when he returns home with Snowy, he discovers that his house has been ransacked and the ship is gone. Okay, so suspecting that Mr. Saccharin has stolen it, he goes to the mansion where the original model was auctioned off from. Okay, he breaks into the house, and while he's searching around, he actually runs into Mr. Saccharin again, who actually has a model, another model of the ship, of course, who Tintin thinks it's his, but it's really not. It's another replica of the ship. Okay, and basically Mr. Saccharin, he tries to question him about the ship, and then he throws him out. Okay, so then he goes home, and basically Tintin finds out he gets, I guess you call the term shanghaied by Mr. Saccharin. He gets shanghaied by Mr. Saccharin, and he's on a ship. Okay, and he finds out while he's on the ship, and he's, of course, his loyal dog Snowy unties him when he's tied up, and they manage to escape from the cage they're tied up in. And he's looking around, and he runs into the real captain of the ship that he's been shanghaied on, and that's a Captain Haddock. Okay, and he finds out later, he actually escapes with Haddock. They escape the ship, and they find out later through Captain Haddock that actually one of the ancestors of Captain Haddock was called Sir Francis Haddock, and he was the original captain of the Unicorn ship. Okay, and he had a treasure that he had to basically scuttle because the ship got attacked by another pirate. I guess an ancestor of Mr. Saccharin. So actually, the rest of the movie is basically Tintin, Captain Haddock, and Snowy racing against Mr. Saccharin to find the treasure of Captain Haddock's relative. Okay, and it's basically, this movie is sort of like, it reminds me a lot of Raiders, and I guess it would, because I guess Steven Spielberg directed this movie, and so it does. You go from one adventure to the other. You have airplane chases, machine gun firing at people, and them traveling to different foreign locations, and it's absolutely beautiful. This is motion capture. That's when they have actors and they put, I guess, dots on their face and they act out scenes against green screen, I guess, and then they put images into different locations, and it's a beautiful looking film. Like I said, this is a 3D version, but obviously I don't have a 3D TV, but it still looks absolutely beautiful to watch. And like I said, it's sort of like Raiders, because Tintin and Snowy and Captain Haddock, they go from one adventure to the next, trying to find clues to find a secret treasure that his ancestor, Captain Haddock's ancestor, hid. And it's just, and of course they're being chased by Mr. Saccharin. Okay, and Tintin is played by Jamie Bell, Andy Serkis, who did the voice of Gollum, and was, I think, King Kong. And King Kong, he did the motion capture in that. He plays Captain Haddock, and his relative also, Sir Francis Haddock, in this. And of course Daniel Craig is great as Mr. Saccharin, and also his relative, the pirate. Okay, it's just like a great adventure story from one. They go from one location to another location. They're being chased and trying to find clues and stuff, and it's just a great action adventure. And like I said, Spielberg directed this, and Peter Jackson helped produce it. And I heard that they also are supposed to be making a sequel to this, which Peter Jackson is going to direct. And then after that, they're going to make a third movie, which Spielberg and Peter Jackson are supposed to collaborate together and get together. But this is really a really good movie. Like I said, I never heard of this before. I saw the people on YouTube talking about it, and I always wanted to get it, and then I think I got it like last year sometime, and I just watched it today, and like I said, it's really like a roller coaster movie. Going from one spot, Tintin and Snowy the dog. I love that dog, Snowy. He's just really, really smart and really resourceful, and actually saves Tintin's hide a couple of times in this movie. He's just fantastic. And Captain Haddock, played by Andy Serkis, is absolutely, hysterical. And I like the interaction between those three characters. It's really great, and it's just a really good, fun adventure. Definitely, like I said, motion capture looks absolutely beautiful, especially on Blu-ray. Okay, so I would give this movie definitely a 7 out of 10. Definitely worth seeing, and definitely, it's like a rock and roll adventure. Okay, I would give this 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I want to give it an 8. No, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely worth getting and viewing, and I look forward to watching the sequel to the sequels, I guess, that are going to be made. Okay? Now, the next movie that I got was actually an animated movie, direct-to-video animated movie, called Superman Unbound. Okay, this is actually based on the graphic novel by Jeff Johns, and I forgot the artist's name. Anyway, this is basically about Superman, and in this version of Superman, his cousin Supergirl. He's taking care of his cousin Supergirl in this, and also Clark Kent is dealing with Lois Lane, who basically wants him to be more committed to her, and because they're always really hiding their relationship, and she wants him to be more open and not be so protective of her, that she can take care of herself. And anyway, one day, a probe comes to Earth, and out of it comes a cybernetic robot that Superman battles and ultimately, disables. And later he finds out through Kara, Supergirl, that this probe was turned into a robot is actually from an organism named Brainiac, an organic, it's an organic robot being, which actually goes from planet to planet, basically collecting things, collecting people and things, and collecting whole cities, and then destroying the whole world and just absorbing their knowledge. Okay, and Supergirl tells him, Superman, of what happened to her city, which is Kandor. I've got the shrunken city of Kandor. How Brainiac, basically shrunk Kandor and took it from the planet and took it before then Krypton exploded later, because Kandor, of course, is the capital city of Krypton. Okay, and of course she's terribly shaken by what happened to her what happened to her people in her city. Okay, and Superman, sees, and he says, well, listen, I have to go, track down this Brainiac before because if he sent a probe to Earth, he's going to probably be on the way to, I can't let what happened to Kandor happen to Earth. Okay, so Superman goes to confront him, and basically this movie is about Superman confronting Brainiac and taking on Brainiac while also at the same time, dealing with, Lois is wanting more of a commitment from him, and also dealing with Supergirl, who's basically, she's bored being in Kansas, and of course she still has that fear of Brainiac, and Superman has to, basically get her to fight back, because she's really, hesitant about Brainiac, and really terrified of her experience with Brainiac when she was a little girl before she got put in the ship and sent to Earth. Okay, so in this movie, the animation isn't the best, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Okay, you have Matthew Bonner, who's what's that show on the USA? I can't remember the name. Matt Bonner. What's that? I can't remember this. I know he was on a soap opera, and the show on USA where he's like the thief guy who works with the FBI. I can't remember the name of that show. But he plays Superman and Clark Kent, and I like the way he switches his voice. You can tell he switches his voice when he's Superman and once when he's Clark Kent. And then you also have Stanya Katic, who plays Lois Lane. She's from Castle, the Beckett, who plays Beckett. She plays Lois Lane in this. Then you have John Noble, who I love, from Fringe, who plays Dr. Peter Bishop on Fringe. He plays Brainiac in this, and of course John Noble has just a great voice. Okay, then you have Molly Quinn as Supergirl, and it's just, I actually really like this. This, like I said, it was based on a graphic novel, and I love the battles that Superman has with Brainiac in this. Brainiac is probably one of my favorite Superman villains. He's just a great villain, and they have some epic battles in this. Okay, and it's, like I said, the animation is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought the animation, I saw like a teaser of it, I guess, before the movie came out, they showed like released scenes of it, and it looked kind of bulky. But actually watching the animated movie was a lot better than I thought, and I love the fights between Superman and Brainiac, and I love the way Superman figured out, a way around Brainiac, okay, without spoiling it, okay. And I definitely give this movie a 7 out of 10 also as well. I think this movie was nice and good, like I said, based on the graphic novel, and it's a really good battle between Superman and Brainiac, and also you got Supergirl there, and then you also have him dealing with Lois Lane and stuff. And it has a good amount of action in it, and it's a really good story, and I really liked it. So I definitely give this a 7 out of 10. And also I would give, like I said, The Adventures of Tintin, which I really enjoyed, 3D. I would give this also a 7 out of 10. Really, a really enjoyable movie. Like I said, it's fast-paced. So, like I said, it does remind me of Raiders, because they're going from one adventure to the next, and there's always something happening in this. So. And I look forward to them whenever they make the sequels to this. This is a really, really enjoyable movie. Okay, so let me know what you think about these two titles. Feel free to leave your comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.